I believe 19 ladies in here, and there's 20. Yes, I love the meditation class, says Venna. Wonderful. Well, thank you all for being here. Like I was saying, this is turning out to be one of my favorite times of the month because it is so nice and relaxing, and to be able to do this with all of you, even though we're on Zoom, it's still, especially last time, I left with the feeling of real community. And of course, we're all missing that, right? We're missing being in person with each other. And so it's amazing how still, on Zoom, we can make it happen. It's not the ideal, right? Because we would all much rather be in person, but we can still have it happen, right? So thank you, ladies, so much for being here. And I am going to transition you off to Miss Kelly Arnold. Woohoo!
Hi, ladies. Hi, everyone. Well, again, welcome to what has become our monthly mindfulness and meditation break. This is where we talk a little bit about mindfulness tools and methods, and then we meditate together. And I'm so happy you're here. I so enjoy talking to you all, and I'm super excited that you're marrying yoga.
Have a good one.
Hi.
Stay warm.
Hi, that we're marrying yoga with the idea of mindfulness and meditation practices, because as I was sharing with Gloria earlier, the two go hand in hand together. They really are meant to be practiced together. So it's absolutely wonderful that we have this opportunity today. So what I wanted to talk with you about in our time here is about a little of the science behind mindfulness and meditation, and there's more and more coming out about it, and it's very exciting times right now because it's supporting that it's not just this catchy trend, right? That we're all just kind of on this mindfulness trend. It is actually showing that positive benefits and effects are being measured and recorded from people who do this type of practice consistently. And so with the science behind it, it gives greater weight and credibility, right, to developing a mindfulness practice. We're more inclined to say, yeah, there's something to that. We should be doing it. And in another session that I taught recently, we watched a specific talk by a neuroscientist by the name of Richard Davidson. And he talked about some recent, scientific research into mindfulness, and how that they and he have found that the brain has something called plasticity. And that means that it can be easily shaped and molded. And in fact, it's being constantly reshaped throughout our life by our experiences and by our thoughts. And notably, he says that 90% of the activity that we're engaged in occurs outside of our conscious awareness, meaning that most of our activities day to day are governed by our subconscious mind, or those kind of programmed brain networks and pathways. And so it's important, he says, that those networks are programmed in good ways, because this research into neuroplasticity is showing that the focus of our awareness, what we put our attention on, determines which of those brain networks are actually strengthened. And we've talked, I believe, in these sessions before about the law of attraction, that where our attention goes, our energy flows. Well, now science is actually showing us how that works at the actual brain level, what it does to our brain. And so what they say now is that in cycles where we find ourselves quite worried and irritable, those networks in our brain are found to become stronger. So we become better at worrying. And when we practice being calm and happy and positive, those networks get stronger and we become better at those things. And so what this tells us is that we can train our brains and our minds, just as one learns to play an instrument or to train in a sport or to create a new habit. The brain is built to change in response to mental training. Therefore, it is possible for us to train the mind to focus, to have clarity, and to be calm and to be happy. And research is showing excitably that it doesn't take much, right? You know, sometimes we think, oh, I have to be doing so much of this for it to benefit me. And it's not the case in these practices. Just as we've talked before in these sessions, I've mentioned to you all my concept of daily M&Ms, which are daily mindful moments, which are just these mindful moments or snippets, I call them, of bite-sized self-care. So whether that's a minute or two of a breathing exercise before you start your workday, or maybe a couple minutes, 5 minutes of meditation, or practicing, you know, a few minutes of compassion and gratitude. We just need a couple minutes here and there, but we must do it consistently. So the key is regularity, that you are doing those, you know, few things on a regular basis throughout your days. The duration doesn't matter. Of course, if you do it longer, you will receive more benefits, but you don't have to start to, you know, do this training. And so now I want to show you a brief clip on mindfulness and how the brain works. And they talk through more about the science behind it. So I'll go ahead and share that with you all now.
The human brain is a profoundly complex organ. 90% of its activity occurs beneath conscious awareness, which means that even though we assume that we have some control of how we think, feel, and behave, modern science suggests it's not so simple. The concept of neuroplasticity is a new and exciting area of science. It highlights that our brain is constantly being reshaped throughout our lives by both our experiences and our thoughts. We now know that it is the focus of our awareness that determines which brain networks are strengthened and which are weakened or lost. That means that when we get caught up in cycles of worry or irritability, these are the networks within the brain that become stronger. So the more we worry, the better we become at worrying. However, on the other side of this, if we practice being calm, clear, and focused, we can strengthen these networks too. As humans, our brain differs from other animals. This is mostly due to the front areas of the brain called the frontal lobes, often called the new brain, as it was the last to develop in our evolution. When well developed, this part of our brain helps us to manage our strong emotions and respond with flexibility, even when we feel overwhelmed. It also helps us to tune into the feelings of others with empathy and insight. When we feel worried, distracted, or stuck on achieving goals, our brain function is more strongly dominated by our old brain, which has a part called the amygdala. The amygdala manages the powerful fight and flight response, which switches on when we feel stressed or anxious and releases hormones and chemicals such as cortisol and adrenaline. That is why stress has such a big impact on us. Mindfulness is a technique that can help us to manage this process more effectively by building our skills of attention, concentration, and a capacity to direct our awareness in a certain way. This all means that we're less likely to be swept up by a strong emotion and the power of the amygdala. It also means we can bring choice to our emotions and our thoughts. In doing so, we're playing an active role in changing the way the structure of our brain develops, in much the same way we can change the shape of our body by doing certain exercises at the gym. When we practice meditation regularly, we build a capacity to become aware of thinking and emotion. As our mind becomes more settled, our nervous system is able to take in more accurate information, and we can access capacities for creativity, flexibility, and lateral thinking, which enable us to manage challenging situations more skillfully. When we build skills of mindfulness, we still experience negative feelings like frustration, disappointment, fear, or irritability. But the research shows that we recover much more quickly. We now know from research into brain development that regular meditation and mindfulness practice reduces the size of the amygdala, reduces levels of stress hormones, and strengthens connections to the frontal lobes. This all means that we're more likely to live with less stress and more happiness.
So there we go. We can train our brain. And the idea too, and I think I know I've mentioned this before, that, we're still going to have negative thoughts and emotions and experiences. Those are all still going to happen. But again, the research now is saying and supporting that we can change our reaction to it. We can recover from those things more quickly and be more resilient. And so we just need a handful of daily M&Ms to train that brain for happiness and success. So I'll stop there and see if you all have any comments or questions, and then we'll do a few minutes of meditation. We'll meditate for a few minutes together. You want to wait for Q&A at the end there, Gloria? Yeah? Okay, let's do it. All right, ladies, gentlemen, if there are any, let's go ahead and close our videos. Go ahead and mute your microphone too. And please make yourself comfortable. Go ahead and let your eyes close. Settle into your meditation posture, finding a nice, relaxed, yet alert position for your body. Now bring your attention to your breath. Just breathe naturally. Don't try to force or control it. Just observe what it's doing. And be aware of your mind and your thoughts and any emotions that are coming up for you. At times when we look to settle ourselves, the brain tends to get quite active. So set the intention to release anything that doesn't concern you for the next few minutes. Give yourself permission to let it all go. You've got nowhere to go, nothing to do for the next few minutes. Now bringing your attention back to your breath. Breathe slowly and deeply. Notice the rhythm of the inflow and the outflow. Observing it as it moves in and moves out. And with every inhalation and exhalation, allow your body to relax just a little bit more. And move your attention into your heart and see if you can feel your breath movement there. Let's think of something we can be grateful for. Again, gratitude is so powerful. Ask yourself silently, what am I grateful for? And it can be anything. Images, feelings, thoughts, sensations. What am I grateful for? And let those things fill your heart. Now we'll move into our So-Hum meditation, and this is what we call our mantra meditation, where we silently repeat a word or a set of words, and the idea is that that mental vibration helps to settle our mind and move beyond some of that mental chaos. And the sound of So-Hum mirrors the natural sound of when we inhale and exhale. Again, helping us to move beyond thoughts and to also provide an anchor for us to come back to the present moment. So now taking a slow, deep breath through your nose, think the word so. And then as you slowly exhale through your nose, silently repeat hum. And continue to allow your breath to flow easily with no effort on your part, just simply watching it and silently repeating so hum with each inflow and outflow of the breath. And whenever your attention drifts, because it will drift to thoughts in your mind or sounds in your environment or sensations in your body, just gently return to your breath, silently repeating so hum, and allow that gentle vibration of so hum to take you deeper into silence. I'll watch the time and let us know when to finish. continue to sit with your eyes closed. Release that mental repetition. And bring your attention back to your breath. And take a couple deep breaths here. Bring your awareness back into your body. Prepare to re-engage. Before we finish, let's plant some intentions for how we want to live. Setting an intention in that silence we've just created is like planting them in front of us. Here are 4 things that we can intend for in our days, and if you'd like, you can silently repeat them to yourself. Joyful, energetic body. Joyful, energetic body. Loving, compassionate heart. Loving, compassionate heart. Reflective and alert mind. Reflective, alert mind. And lightness of being and laughter. Lightness of being and laughter. We'll let those intentions go work their magic, and when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Hopefully you all felt a little bit of calm there. So just like that, we can retrain some of those brain networks away from the worry and more towards the calm. So thank you again. It's always so good. I love being with you all because I can meditate with you when I otherwise can't due to my busy work.
Thank you.
Sure, let's see if there's any more comments and then we'll do some yoga. I'm really excited about that.
Yes, ladies, any questions that we
I
have?
almost fell asleep.
Yeah, it was so relaxing.
That's
I-
good. And that's
I don't
okay.
take time for me, but at this moment I feel like I want to go to sleep.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say, it is okay if you fall asleep because that means you needed the rest. So that too is a benefit of sitting and finding some stillness so you can, if you need to, get a cat nap.
Thanks.
Yes, so relaxed. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. You can do it anytime yourself.
So helpful.
Interesting that when we worry and we're worrying that the amygdala expands and gets bigger. So for some of us, like I know for me, I think I got that PhD on worrying, a long time ago. And it's like, my goodness, what have I been doing to myself and my body? Because the cortisol, and that's what makes our gut kind of bigger, right? And not let go of the fat.
Well, yes, it's just our whole system becomes out of balance with all those chemicals and it disrupts lots of things. Like the digestive system is very common because there is a very intimate connection between the brain and the gut. And if the gut is not healthy, the brain is imbalanced. And if the brain is imbalanced, the gut too is unhealthy. So yes, that amygdala, and it's again, just like we strengthen other muscles like biceps, that worry is strengthening and it's growing that part of our brain. And then of course, like you said, causing, again, the release of all these kind of hormones and chemicals that cause us problems. So, but now we know we can train it, right? Recondition it.
And can, as far as you know about the studies, if you start doing those things like meditation and and paying attention to what you're focusing your attention on, is there good evidence that you can reverse some of that damage, or that you can do away with it, or?
Yes, in fact, there have been studies specifically around reversing signs of aging, and it has to do with what they call certain genes called telomerase, and it has to do with our DNA. And as we age and as we are, experience trauma, these particular genes or DNA strands, they start to fray. And in meditation research and studies that they have performed over the last few years, they've shown in just a very short period of time, where people would go on like a 7 to 10 day meditation fix, right, or retreat, that in just that short period of time that damage was reversing, right, and that those things were becoming stronger. So yes, that's where it's going, Gloria, is to support that. In fact, we can heal ourselves in certain areas. We can, reduce blood pressure, reduce instances of diabetes, and people have been shown, to go off certain things because they have had that increase in health. And so that is in fact where science is going, is studying that, yes, we can heal ourselves from doing this, consistently over time, right? It does take the dedication to your self-care of doing it a little bit on a regular basis, but that's what it's showing. And that's why it's so exciting.
It's a lot nicer than having to take medication, right? And having
Yes.
to do all of those things, right? To be able to just do it yourself and heal yourself through meditating. So.
Yes. And I'm grateful for, medicine, because it does help us, right? But as we know, there are side effects, that can cause us other problems. And so, yeah, while it's preferred, certainly there is a place, I think, for medicine as well.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. I don't see, there is a comment. Oh, by Healthy Denver Inc., Rebecca and Sharon. Our gut is that was the doorbell and my dog. Jack. Sorry about that. Yes, so that our gut is our second brain. Hold on. Jack.
Yes. That is a great comment. Yes, it is in fact our second brain. And that's why it's so important, right? To nourish our body as best we can with those good things, putting in there, because it has a direct effect on us. So very good.
Yes, well, thank you so much, Kelly. Sorry about that, ladies. Here, right here. Yeah. Thank you so very much. And now for our second part here, we have Sheila. Sheila, wave to us, Sheila Troiano. Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll let you take it away, Sheila. You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
While she unmutes herself, I just want to say thank you so much for having us here, and we're excited, Healthy Denver Inc., to be a part of Triple Success Wellness Thursdays, continued. So we're excited, and we're happy that Sheila is doing with us today. And yeah, so welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Since we haven't done yoga, well, with me anyway, you might have done it with other people, but I would like to start us all on the floor. And because I think I would like to ease us into yoga if we haven't done yoga since this COVID thing happened. So if you ladies do not mind, get on your mats on the floor. And can you see me, Rebecca? My knees?
Most of it.
Most of my knees?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, let me make sure that that's another spam call that I was talking about.
I hate those.
So let me see. Do not disturb. There you go. Do not disturb.
And
So
yeah, and if I can chime in just a little bit, ladies, on the top right-hand side of your screen, there is there's a lot of little boxes and it says view. If you want to change it so you see speaker view, so that you can see Sheila on the full screen, that would be very helpful so that you can see what she's doing and you can try to do that as much as we can, right? So.
absolutely.
And Gloria, if you're on like a phone or a tablet, if you double tap it, hi everybody, it's Elisha, it'll also make it into a full screen, just to let you guys know.
Oh, awesome.
Is it possible for me to see everybody?
Yeah.
Yes, if you put it on gallery view. So on the upper right-hand side where it says view, if you click on that and put gallery view, you will be able to see, perhaps not everybody, depending on how big your screen is, but you can see a lot. But do you want us to keep our camera on?
Yes, please. Okay. Participate more. Oh, there it is. Gallery view. Perfect. And I will tell you. That's the only way I can verbally cue everybody. If there's just little tweaks here and there, so we don't hurt ourselves, like where your knees are, where your hands are, and the only way I can verbally cue to you is for me to be able to see you guys. And can you hear me? Just
Yes.
awesome.
Yes,
Cool.
we can.
Wonderful. Okay, so we're gonna do floor yoga in keeping with the theme of meditation. I think relaxation yoga is what we should be doing instead of the other styles of yoga, because there are 7 different styles of yoga. One of them is relaxation, and a bunch of them are a lot of workout. So we're gonna start with the relaxation yoga, and I'm seated this way because I've been sitting this way for years. If you, for whatever reason, you feel uncomfortable, you can always uncross your legs, whichever is comfortable. You can put one foot in front of the other or on top of the other, whichever is comfortable. And especially your knees, I don't know how your knees are, you can always move your legs a little bit more forward to allow more relaxation of the knees, okay? And anytime we are on the mat and you need to use a padding, have a towel in handy so that you can just put it under your knees. The other thing that we're gonna use, I'm glad everybody's home. Everybody has a towel at home, I think. So you just fold your towel 4 ways, like regular size bath towel, and then do it this way and roll it like a log. And I'll show you why we're using a rolled towel. If you don't have this block, this is a yoga block, you can use your towel. And I'll show you how to use it later. And if you have a band that you guys use, you can have it next door, close to you, or you can just unroll your yoga and you can use that as well instead of a band, okay? If I have not explained anything, please feel free to chime in or raise your hand. Hopefully I can see everybody, but I will try to explain everything verbally since I won't be able there to actually be next to you. All right, so let's get started. Crossing our legs. I'm gonna start the music as well. Let me know if the music is too loud. Bring ourselves in the moment. Easy crossed legs, one foot on top of the other or one foot in front of the other. Placing the hands on the knees. Rolling our shoulders back and down. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. Closing our eyes if we wish. One more deep inhale. And another deep exhale. Inhaling, fanning the arms up, bring the arms overhead. Exhaling the arms, bring the hands back to heart center in prayer pose. One more time, inhaling. Exhaling to heart center. Placing the right hand on the left knee, or one hand on one knee. Placing the other hand on the back. Slowly twisting your shoulders, facing towards the side. We're still breathing. One more breath here. Inhaling, going back center. Exhaling, switching sides. And slowly going back center. Find yourselves on our knees. So if you need a towel, just fold underneath your knees. Placing your knees on the mat, your wrists on your hands on the mat. Making sure the shoulder is right above your wrist. So not this way. It can be this way, but not forward of the wrist. Otherwise, you're going to be hurting your wrist. So right above the wrists. Let's do the cat cow. Inhaling, dropping the abs, lifting the head. Exhaling, rounding the back, tucking the chin to the chest in cow or cat. Inhaling, in cow, dropping the abs, lifting the head. Exhaling, rounding back in cat, sending the chin to the chest. Let's do that a couple more times. And exhale. One more inhale. One more exhale. And bring the back in neutral spine, so we're not dropping the abs, we're not lifting the abs, we're keeping it in neutral. Let's do the spinal balance. Let's start with the legs. Inhaling, setting the right leg back. Exhaling, lowering the right leg. Inhaling, setting the other leg. Exhaling, bring the other knee down. Let's add the hands, opposite hands. Left arm, right leg. Exhale and lower. Right arm, left leg. Exhale and lower. Just a few more, moving at our own pace. Inhaling when we extend. Exhaling when we lower. Remember, opposite hand to opposite leg. So we're not falling over. And releasing back down. One more for each side. Inhaling, left arm, right leg. Exhale and lower. One more time on the right arm, left leg. Exhale and lower. Let's move their knees and move our hips side to side. Just relaxing the spine. And from here we go to child's pose, setting their glutes towards our heels, extending the arms. If any time we need to relax, we can come to this pose. Let's do the sun salutation from the child's pose, extending the arms forward. The elbows are not on the floor. Inhaling, lifting up, setting the shoulders above the wrist. Exhaling, we extend the shoulders forward. Elbows in, and we drop the abs down. I'm gonna move back a little bit. Let's do that one more time, going back to child's pose. Inhaling, going up. Exhaling, sending the chest forward. Inhaling, bending the elbows. Exhaling, abs on the mat, lifting the chest. Let's do that a couple more times, going back to child's pose. Moving with our breath, one movement. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, send the chest forward. Inhaling, elbows bent. Lifting the chest on the exhale, abs on the mat. One more time. Going back to child's pose. Inhaling up. Exhaling, standing forward. Inhaling, elbows in. Exhaling, lifting the shoulders, abs down. And releasing back to child's pose. Stay here for a moment. If you wanna open up our hips a little more, do the frog pose. So basically, I'm gonna face you guys so you can see my knees. Instead of keeping the knees together, you bring them apart. And then you extend your arms forward. If you need to put a pillow for your head, you can use your towel. You can rest your forehead on it, extending the arms forward. This is the frog pose. This is a hip opener. You can always rest your forehead on something. And slowly coming back center. From here, we're gonna do some back stretch. So we don't have a lot of back stretch movements in our daily life. So this is something that you can do when you are warm. That's why I did all those warm-ups. You do this when you're warm. So you thread your right hand underneath your left armpit, placing your right arm and right shoulder on the mat, and resting your head on the mat. This may be plenty. If you want more, extend your left arm over your head, placing it on the floor. This is opening your chest and stretching your upper back. Couple of breaths here. If you need to, just place the left arm on the floor. Coming back up to all fours. Switching to the other side. On the other side that you haven't done yet, threading that arm underneath the armpit, placing the shoulder and the arm on the floor. If you can, extend the right arm overhead. Couple of breaths here. And slowly coming back up with both hands. This time we're gonna go on our back. So we're gonna go on the staff pose. We're gonna start going down on the floor. Placing our feet together. And sending the arms forward. Inhaling. On the exhale, lift, reach further forward. Inhaling, exhaling, lifting further forward. Staying wherever you're comfortable, relaxing the shoulders. We're still breathing. And slowly going back center. Let's extend the left leg, keeping the right knee bent. Placing the left hand on the right knee, right arm behind, reaching up and over the head. Reaching towards the other leg. So we're not bending the knees, we're keeping it straight. And if we can reach just here, that's fine too. Making sure that the leg is straight. And coming back center. Switching legs, extending the right leg, bending the left. Placing the right hand on the left knee. Sending the left arm behind, reaching up and over the head. Reaching towards the right toes. Keeping the right leg straight. You can be here. You can be here as long as the right leg is straight. And slowly going back. Let's grab the pillow, the towel or the block. So the towel is rolled, or you don't have to use anything if you don't want to. So I'm gonna use the block. We're gonna place it over here. And see, I'm just halfway up here. Slowly sending the back down. And you can use a towel. I'm gonna use a towel, and I'm gonna use hot towels. Just towel, and it's parallel to your back. So slowly going down, just halfway up, resting your shoulder and sending the head over the towel or the block, and bring the arms by the side. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, drawing the navel towards the spine and the lower back towards the mat. Let's stay here for a few breaths. Normal breathing. If you need to remove the block or the towel from underneath, that's fine too. Let's bring the feet together in butterfly. So the legs are together and just opening the knees up. If you need to, you can always bend the knees. You have several options. If it hurts, we back off. Slowly extending the legs and slowly coming up. We're gonna move the towel to right underneath our hip. So we lift our glute, place the tailbone part on the towel. Extend the legs. So your hips are elevated, your glutes are hanging off the towel or the block. And slowly, using your hand, slowly guide your upper back down to the mat. And we can stay right here, opening the arms again, letting the palms face the sky. Relaxing the hips, relaxing the abs, relaxing the shoulders. If you want our hips stretched deeper, we can bring the butterfly in, bring your insoles together. Couple more breaths here. Let's place our feet on the mat, lifting our hips, removing the block or towel from underneath. Placing it on the side. And you can unroll your towel, unless you have a band. From here, I'm gonna use my towel. Let's place the towel on our left foot and hold the towel. See my left leg? It's just resting on the mat. It's relaxed. My right leg is straight. Using my arm, I'm gonna send my knee towards my chest. And you can gauge how far you can go. You can always stay here, here, or farther in. So wherever you feel comfortable with, a little bit uncomfortable, but not painful. Couple more breaths here. And from here, I'm gonna use both hands on the towel. My right hand is on the floor. Palm is facing the floor. Using my left arm, I'm gonna bring my right leg across the body, keeping the shoulders close to the mat. If the shoulder starts to lift, bring the right leg towards center. So we are looking through or towards our right shoulder. It will help keep that shoulder down. Couple more breaths here. Slowly bring the leg back center. Placing the right hand this time around the towel or the strap. Placing the left arm on the mat at shoulder level, palm facing the floor. Let's send the right leg towards the right side. This time we keep the left hip close to the mat. If our left hip starts to lift, we bring the right leg a little higher. So bring that leg slow towards the floor, using your right hand and the towel. We're still breathing. Couple more breaths here. And slowly going back center. Let's switch legs. Wrapping the towel around the left foot. Placing both hands on the towel. The right leg is just resting on the mat. Keeping the left leg straight. Using the hands. Let's send our knee towards the chest. Sending that leg as close to the chest as we can. If it's painful, we back off. Couple deep breaths here. This time we wrap the right hand on the towel or around the towel with the left arm on the mat at shoulder level, palm facing the floor. Using the right arm, let's bring the left leg across the body, keeping both sides of our hips close to the mat. If the hip starts to lift, we'll bring the leg towards center. So we're adjusting as our body needs. And slowly going back center, switching hands. Left hand around the towel this time, right arm on the floor. Let's send the left leg towards the left side. I'm sorry, I meant shoulders earlier. Now this time the hips has to be on the floor. Sorry about that. And slowly bring it back center. Good job, everybody. Let's remove the towel And we're gonna do a slight inversion. So if you have spine problems or shoulder problems, you can just lift your hips off the mat. The hands are on the mat. This is inversion, it's called the plow. If you can do a little bit more, lift the hips higher. If you can, bring it overhead, touching the floor. Gotta just touching the floor with the toes if you can. We're not moving the head to protect the neck. So you can keep the legs higher or over if you can. If you need assistance on the hips, place the hands on the hips with the elbows on the mat. This is inversion, good stretch for your spine. And using the hands, let's guide our hips back down on the mat. Slowly. How's everybody feeling? From here, we're gonna do what we call the figure 4. So it's number 4 with the legs. Crossing the right leg over the left knee. Threading the right hand between the legs. Both hands behind the left hamstring or left thigh. From here, we lift our shoulders. And at the same time, bring the left knee towards the chest. Relaxing the shoulders, keeping them away from the ears. We're still breathing. And slowly going back down and switching legs. Left knee across the right, or left foot across the right knee. Threading the left hand between the legs. Both hands behind the right thigh or hamstring. Lifting the shoulders, sending the knee towards the chest. Relaxing the shoulders. We're breathing. And slowly releasing. From here, we're gonna go to happy baby, grabbing the big toes or the feet with your hands or index and middle finger and pressing the tailbone. So it's not up here, the tailbone is close to the mat. Let's try to bring the knees to about 90 degrees. Relaxing the shoulders. If you need to be right here, that's fine too. Finding where you're not forcing any poses. Couple more breaths in happy baby. And we can move the hand placement. We can extend the legs with the fingers around the feet or toe, or we can use the hands around the calves and slowly opening the legs a little bit more. Pressing the tailbone towards the mat. And slowly going back center. We're gonna roll over to our stomach. Making sure that I'm not taking all your time. So we are gonna be in, this is the dolphin pose. So the elbows are directly underneath the shoulders. We're lifting the chest. We're pressing the hips on the mat. We're still breathing. From here, let's slowly lower the chest back on the mat, placing one hand around each ankle. We can stay right here. The chest is lifted. This may be plenty. We're in bow. If you can, lift the legs off the mat. Or keep the legs on the mat. The left chest is lifted. Couple more breaths. And slow releasing. From here, we place the hands on the mat, and we're going back to child's pose. Extending the legs forward. Placing the forehead on the mat, or you can use your hands as a pillow or your towel. Staying here for a moment. And slowly coming up to hero pose. Sitting on our glutes, on our heels, glutes on our heels. If we need towel underneath our knees, please let's put that there. From here, one thing that we always forget is our toes. So we're gonna do a toe stretch. It will feel very uncomfortable the first time. So you're gonna have to gauge how far you bring your glutes towards your heels. So we grip our toes and we slowly send the hips down. I'm sitting on my heels right now. Okay, I'm gonna face you because we're gonna do some things while we're on this pose. If at any time you need to get up, please do so. Those toes need to be trained. So I'm gonna face you so you can see what I'm doing. Relaxing the shoulders. From here, we're gonna roll our head towards the right side, sending it forward. Slowly, bring it above the left shoulder. Bring it towards the back, back to the right shoulder. And this time we drop the right shoulder down, drop the left shoulder down. You should be feeling the stretch right here between your left ear and your left shoulder. The right arm, left shoulder is dropped, the left shoulder is dropped. And slowly send the head towards the front, slightly towards the front, very slight. Now you feel the stretch on the back of your what's this? Chaps, of your trapezoid. Slowly bring that head above the right shoulder again. Now you feel the stretch in the middle of your chaps. Or sorry, deltoid. I'm confusing my body part. This time we send the head towards the back slightly. Now you feel the stretch on the front side of that muscle. Let's slowly roll the head back, forward towards the left shoulder, letting it stay there. Dropping the left shoulder, dropping the right shoulder. If your toes are on fire, lift those hips off your toes. Slice and then head towards the front, very slightly. Feel the stretch on the back side of the muscle. Going back above the left shoulder and slightly towards the back. Feel the stretch towards the front of that muscle. And slowly coming back, so bringing that head down. How are your toes? Good? So the toes are always forgotten. This is a good stretch for your toes and also your Achilles heel and your the arch of your feet, especially after a day's work. From here, I'm gonna go sideways so you can see what I'm doing. We just basically come up, feet on the mat. Our shoulders are relaxed, like a rag doll. Let's place the right hand on the mat, bending the right knee, sending the left arm towards the sky. So right hand on the mat, right knee is bent, left leg is straight, left arm towards the sky, actively reaching with the left arm. If we can, we slightly straighten the right leg. We're still breathing. Let's switch hands, placing the left hand on the mat, bending the left knee, straightening the right leg, sending the right arm towards the sky, actively reaching with the right arm. If you can, we slowly straighten the left knee, or we keep it bent. And slowly going back. Placing the hands, letting the hands dangle pretty much in your upper body, dangle and then letting the shoulders sway side to side, letting the hands go where they are. They're relaxed, the upper body's relaxed, moving side to side. We're still breathing, we're now holding our breaths. And releasing, staying forward fold for a moment. From here, we slowly ragdoll to mountain or ragdoll to standing position, one vertebrae at a time, slowly. Slowly. And now we're in upright pose. I'm gonna go move this way so you can see me. So I'm gonna face you again. Well, that's really it, ladies. Inhaling, fanning the arms up, bring the arms overhead. Exhaling to heart center. One more time, inhaling. Exhaling to heart center. The spirit in me honors the spirit in you. Namaste. That's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Fire away. I'm gonna stop the music.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Welcome.
Woo. I
This
had
is yoga you can do anywhere.
Huh, I'm sorry?
This is yoga you can do anywhere. I'm in my living room.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I hadn't stretched some of those parts in a very long time.
I figured. Yes, we forget that there's not a lot of stretches for upper back, our shoulders, even our toes. So I was thinking about what can I do today that I'm sure nobody has done in a long time, and that's what I came up with.
Yes, that was wonderful. Thank you. What questions do you ladies have? Please feel free. And Kelly's still with us as well. So whether it's a question for Kelly or for Sheila, what questions do you have?
You can unmute yourselves, ladies.
I'm happy. It was very relaxing, body, mind, and spirit. So everything was great. Just wanted to give kudos to both you and so.
Cool. The most important part in yoga is basically listening to your body. If any pose is, so there's a fine line between discomfort and pain. You're the only person who will be able to know that. So when your body screams, I'm in pain, listen to it and back off the pose. A lot of the mistakes that we do in yoga is we go to a class, but we haven't started from the basics, and we just do what everybody else is doing, and then we hurt ourselves.
On the last exercise, stretching the toes, if you're not able to bend the toes, is there another way to do it? Can you do it with your foot flat?
Oh, on your foot flat, you can do it while you're sitting down. Like this is also a good stretch for the back of your leg. So you just basically press it down here. So pull the not just the toes, but the upper part of it, so that you can press your palm over your toes.
Yeah, I'm not able to flex the toes. That's very painful for me.
Okay. Yeah, so you can just if you trust me when I tell you that when I first started that, I got out of it in a split second. We have to develop, because these are tendons, these are not bones, so you can actually slowly practice it. But the best way to do it is you don't even have to have your legs stretched. You can start with just grabbing the half part of your leg and using your palm to push down your toes. And then eventually, if you can also add your legs, you're stretching the backs of your legs and also your arms. And once you feel a little bit more comfortable by pushing your toes down with your hands, then you can start curling them under your feet. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Sheila. Can I ask you a question when we have a yoga again?
I know, it's been a while. So when the weather is better, maybe you can do it in a park or somewhere where you can socially distance.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is so helpful. Today I attend meditation and yoga. Oh, I have a time for myself and have energy for myself. I have a relax. So thank you, Kelly and Sheila.
You're very welcome. So you can do yoga 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time you have.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Hey, Sheila, I wanted to say you teach beautifully, and I really needed
I have
the
to say I'm rusty. I've been doing yoga by myself. I haven't instructed.
you do it so beautifully, and you're one of the best teachers I've seen in a while. So thank you so much. It felt really good.
Thank you. Yeah, so once
That's
you
why we love her so much.
start with the rolled towels before you go to this, because it's a little harder and this is higher. So gradually go to this, but you use the towel first. And if you have the bands, use the bands instead of the towel to wrap around your foot. And even when you're sitting down, you're watching TV, It's a good stretch.
Well, we do have a question in the chat.
Mhm.
Bawana is asking, how do you stay present, focused during yoga? Sometimes our mind will wander around. So do you have any tips on staying focused and focusing on what we do? Thank you.
So, okay, well, that's a great question. One of the things that I'm sure Kelly will agree is people think that they are not doing a good job if their mind wanders. Your mind wanders naturally. You just have to bring it back. And good instructors will always tell you during class, and it may sound repetitive, and I sound repetitive a lot, but I will say, focusing on the moment, bring your mind here, whatever is out there is going to be there. So I say it in so many different ways, but I try to bring them back into the room, especially when you're holding a pose and it's very quiet. It's not, there's nothing, your mind wandering. If you're in a class, your instructors should remind you. If you're by yourself, what I do is I do those affirmations, so I'm in the moment. So for example, nobody's around me, the music is playing, and I'm doing down dog, and my mind is somewhere, and I just start with affirmation like, I am strength, I am powerful, because now you're here. I'm in the moment. So I start doing the affirmations.
Yeah, and you're so right too, Sheila, because you continually also bring us back to our breath, right? Remember to keep breathing, because as we've talked about with meditation, that is our primary anchor to the present moment. And so that's why Sheila was saying, all right, remember we're breathing, we're bringing your attention to your breath, and why she's coordinating her movements with the inhale and the exhale, because it's grounding us as well as, helping us to move our body the right way. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
And if you're consciously thinking about breathing, that means you're connecting your mind and body.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found those reminders very helpful. And I found that every time you said, okay, remember to breathe, it was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and even for me as a student, when I go to class, I find myself holding my breath. And then the instructor says, breathe. I'm like, oh, that's right. I have to breathe. So it's natural. It's a very natural. Nothing wrong about it.
Mm-hmm. So we have some comments. The stretches felt really good. And that's from Vera. And then Sharon, we love doing yoga with Sheila. I love combination of the mind and the body. Yes, very good.
Thank you.
Yes. Anyone else have any questions, comments? And please